Hello, I'm Mr. Wright. I'm going to talk to you today about some of the key points from our Exam Success Evening 2025. One of the most important resources that we give every Year 11 student are their personalised exam checklists. For every single subject they study, this lists every topic that could come up in any exam and how to revise for it really effectively. What this means is if our students can guarantee that they have some knowledge for every single one of these topics, that whatever question comes up in any exam, they will definitely have the knowledge to answer it. And that's incredibly important. However, these checklists are only useful if they're used. The most important part is every time a bit of revision is completed, in school or at home, is to date and rag the topic that's been revised. That means you can see really clearly whether you've given it a red, not feeling confident yet, amber, getting there with the confidence in knowledge, green, feeling really confident and ready to go. What this means is our students can really quickly see the progress they're making, which is really motivating, but also identify areas of their knowledge where they're less confident so they can prioritise their revision. At the back of the personalised exam checklist is a tracking sheet. This allows our students to track the revision they're completing each week. Our mantra this year is target 10 and go again, to try and complete 10 hours of revision every single week. We encourage our students to then enter how many hours of revision they've completed each week so they can see if they've met that target of 10 hours of revision and keep a running total, which is extremely motivating for our students. At the bottom you can see there's a revision reward section as well, where you might think as a family about putting some little rewards in place, whether that's watching a favourite movie, having a favourite meal cooked, or something else for when our students are hitting those 10 hours of revision every single week. Your role as parents and carers is really important with the personalised exam checklists, and I really encourage you to ask your child if you can have a look at them, to have a look through, to recognise subjects where perhaps they've done lots of revision, and to praise and recognise the hard work that our amazing Year 11s are putting into their revision, but at the same time to spot perhaps subjects or topics where less revision has been completed and give that nudge and that little bit of support to prioritise that area of revision over the coming days and weeks. The first are our Easter holiday revision boosters, expert, intensive, tailored revision happening in school totally for free. If your child completes one of these different subjects, I strongly encourage them to try and come into school on this day, sign in a reception, head to their classroom and get some additional tailored, very high impact revision. The Easter holidays is also a time to begin planning to complete some revision. We've given every child in Year 11 revision planners so they can map out when they're going to be completing revision. But actually the first thing we ask them to add on are all the times they're not going to be revising. It's really important over the Easter holidays that our young people have an opportunity to rest, recover and recuperate so they feel really refreshed when they come back after Easter. So the first thing you put on are all the times you're not going to be revising. But absolutely then, Easter holidays is a really important time to complete some revision. We recommend no more than 3 subjects a day so it feels manageable, but to add them into the timetable and really ensure they're stuck to. 2 tips. First is to complete this as a family, to get it out and map in all the times you're not going to be revising, but also when you will be, and to put this up somewhere really prominent at home, whether that's on the fridge or in the kitchen, so that everybody knows what revision should be taking place and we can all support each other to make sure that revision happens. Once that revision has been mapped out, it's important to know what to revise from. So just make sure for every subject that you've got a really good idea of what you're going to be revising from, whether that's a revision guide or online, or revision guides are still available on our Academy shop. Then thinking about which revision strategy to use from our core 4. And finally ensuring any past papers are organised, you've got them and ready to practice them, so that revision over Easter can be really impactful. The final part of impactful revision is getting into great revision habits. That means turning up to school. In my history lessons, there are only about 10 more lessons to go, so every one of them absolutely counts. But also turning up to revision. If you've planned to do it, make sure you're there to actually do it. Champions Hour is going to run every day after Easter from 3 till 4 p.m, an opportunity for independent study, and we really encourage our students to attend. When at home, try and find a quiet space to revise, wherever that might be in your particular setting. Homework completion, again, with only 5 or 6 weeks to go before exams start, every one of those homeworks is going to be really important. The last bit is to find your motivation, whether that is completing your tracker to show the progress you're making, thinking about the grades you need for college, the careers you want in the future, or just visualizing yourself on results day, opening up some fantastic results. Find that motivation that works for you. We return after the Easter holidays to MFL speaking exams that very first week back, so rehearsing those speeches is absolutely part of that Easter holiday revision, and then we have art and photography exams the second week back. And on the Friday of that second week back, one of our big rewards of the year, our Year 11 Leavers Day, a chance for our traditional silent disco, celebration assembly with photos from Year 7 of course, and the guard of honour at the end of the day from our Year 10s as we see our fantastic Year 11s off to begin preparation for their exams in the sports hall beginning the following week. All students will receive generic exam timetables as part of their Packs from the Exam Success evening. It's worth noting the contingency day on Wednesday 25th of June. If there was, in the unlikely event, an exam had to be moved nationally, then we would ask students to come in on this day and complete that exam. So it's really important as a family you're available to come in on that day. Students will receive personalised timetables after Easter. I think students are well aware of the rules and regulations about arriving promptly and early on the exam day, which is of course really important. There is a bit of a kit list there as well to make sure that our students are fully prepared for all of their exams. One common question is, what if I'm too unwell to come to school on a day of an exam? If that's the case, in the unlikely event that happens, contact the school as soon as possible. We'll send a form to you which you'll again need to complete as soon as possible. We will send that off to the exam board for them to process. Two important things to note: if you miss an exam, you'll not be able to retake it, and you must sit at least 50% of each subject to receive a grade. So for example, if there's 3 maths exams, if you fail to sit 2 of the 3, you will not be able to receive a grade for maths. One of the unique things we do at Penrice to support our Year 11 students is to rewrite their timetables over the exam period. What that means is we include boosters. These are highly impactful, targeted revision sessions with their class teacher just before an exam. So if they have an exam in an afternoon, they would have boosters that morning. If they have an exam one morning, they would have boosters the afternoon before. We're also trialling this year boosters potentially on a Sunday before an exam on Monday. These might be live boosters or pre-recorded for students to watch, so they're absolutely prepared for every exam, even the Monday morning exams. The revision planner becomes extremely important across the exam period. The first thing to complete on it and enter are the exams that all students are taking place, so that all of you know exactly when every exam is. Once again, you then want to add the time off. Absolutely essential, even during the exam period, that all of our students have time to rest, relax and recover. But then of course to add in when they're going to be revising for the exams. So if you have a maths exam on the Wednesday, of course Tuesday night you're going to plan to do some maths revision. Again, your role as parents and carers is absolutely essential. If there is that maths exam the next day, you would absolutely expect your child to be revising the night before. And if they have had, for example, over the weekend, the Saturday off, it's absolutely fine to say on the Sunday, actually you've got a really busy week of exams next week. How about we complete a little bit of revision? Your role is so important in this. The exam period is a stressful time. And it's really important to, I guess, first recognise that there will be a degree of stress. These exams are really important, and we don't want our students in the green zone of too little stress where they're perhaps a bit too laid back. At the same time, we absolutely don't want our students tipping into exhaustion, anxiety, panic or burnout. Again, your role as parents is really important here to recognise when they're perhaps a bit underloaded and need a bit of a nudge, but at the same time to absolutely recognise where perhaps the stress is getting a little bit too much. If we do feel that level of stress is getting a bit high, it's absolutely right to find some time to look after our mental health and well-being. That might be doing things we enjoy, thinking about the bigger picture, planning for something to look forward to, or finding someone to talk to at home or in school. Once we get to May half term, we're about halfway through the exams. We will absolutely put on some additional revision boosters over May half term, and we'll share this timetable with you before Easter so you can plan ahead as families as well. And before you know it, that final exam will be over and you'll leave feeling proud, successful, really satisfied at all the hard work you've done and how amazingly it's paid off. Soon after that, on the 19th of June, we have our ball, a fantastic celebration for all of us in the Penrice community to come together and celebrate a fantastic 5 years at Penrice. And finally, a date for your diary, 21st of August, Results Day, a time for us to celebrate the fantastic achievements of our class of 2025. I want to end by saying that if you have any questions or anything you feel that we can help with to support your child and our fantastic Year 11s through their GCSEs, please do get in touch so we can make sure they do their very best this year.